Okay, call this meeting to order. Determined as a quorum present, Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Nettleton, Commissioner Flores, and myself, we have a quorum. Commissioner Vasquez, if you don't mind, if you'll lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, Mark, I didn't know you could move that fast. Trying to turn off the phone and
I couldn't get it, man.
You were quick. Approving minutes?
Do we have some?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, yeah, motion to approve.
Second. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Citizens' comments, there is none. Item 6, approving subdivision plat, none. Approving certificates of compliance, none. Approving monthly reports from elected officials.
Move.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Approving bills for payment.
Move.
Second. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Auditors report.
Motion to approve.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning. Second. A motion and a second. Matt, do you have anything?
On,
Auditors report.
just, yeah, what's in your packets,
Okay.
that's all. Yeah,
But nothing you want to highlight or hit on?
no.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Budget adjustment. A, 63rd District Court, $740 from office to capital expenditures.
Move. Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. Item number 12, approval and signature for the Odyssey agreement.
Motion to approve and authorize the judge to sign.
Second. I have Commissioner Nettleton, made a motion, Commissioner Flores seconded it. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. Item 13, discussing vacation overage payout for Valverde County employees. Commissioner Nettleton, I think this is what you would ask for. This is like 19,000 and change.
These are all the ones that are over?
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the payout of the ones on the list and take it out of contingency.
Did you, well, I believe this was a COVID-related item.
Or COVID, if we have money in COVID, that's
Any
fine.
COVID, correct. Thank you.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second. Second. Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
Treasurer's report. Good to get it. Didn't need it. Item 15, we'll come back to it later on, and we'll give it, that's allowed. Item 16, consideration and approval of a resolution relating to establishing the county's intention to reimburse itself for the prior lawful expenditures of funds from the proceeds of tax-exempt obligations to be issued by the county for authorized purposes, authorized other matters incident and relating thereto, and providing an effective date. This one here, we had talked about, there was a 3.9, which was equipment. Dozers, equipment, and then, $500,000 per precinct for more equipment, and then there was a 3.3, which would be the 1.3 for Odyssey, and then $2 million for Frontera.
Make a motion to approve, and can we set the date for January 1, or do we have to set it for today?
What we can do is, I told, Raul that we would call him probably a little bit after 9:30.
Okay.
So if we want, we can come back to item 16 and item 17 after 9:30, if y'all would be fine with that.
That's fine.
And work. One of the other things on here on the 3.9, Commissioner Flores has asked if we could add $100,000 to his budget out of this to add it to the 3.9, which is complete $4 million, just because of the doses that precinct 2 and 3 are getting. But we'll come back and talk about that. That'll give y'all something to think about. We're gonna move on, Janie, to item 18, approval to purchase new radios for precinct crews and fire department. This was another thing that, I don't know, the radios, we got prices, handhelds and the ones that go in the vehicles are about $2,500. If we get refurbished, they're about, $600 less, but they carry the same warranty that the new radios do. So, you know, I don't know if we need to do a count and then figure out, you know, the cost of this. That way, if we wanted to either try to come and pay for it during this fiscal year, or if we wanted to add it to the tax note. There's what, six members per crew right now?
Yes.
6?
But there's, I mean, if we're gonna have smaller radios for like in the dump trucks and stuff, I mean, there's water trucks, dump trucks, different pickups, I mean, it's gonna be more than 6.
Okay. So,
But those would just need to be the ones that are just carrying.
the one that mounts inside?
Yeah, it just carries the road and bridge frequency more than maybe like the fire frequency, and that'd be about it.
What I asked, Oscar is if there was some way that, when I had my radios, they called them tones. In other words, you could have the same frequency, but they had different tones. That way, if Precinct 3 was talking to Precinct 3, you're not listening to everybody else's conversation. And he said he thought that there was a way to do that. And then, like when we go to fight fires, you can go to one channel, which is the regular county road crew, and then everybody can talk.
To just get a count.
A count of radios.
Okay.
Y'all wanna bring that back?
Yeah, I'll get a count.
Like I say, they're figure about $2,500 a radio.
Mhm.
The handheld units, I think our towers right now are, I haven't heard any complaints so far, right? We haven't had anything go down. We're buying generators, so if we have power go down, right now I think we have generators at all of them, but we need to redo them, and the county that's supported already set money aside for those.
Judge, would those be countywide service?
Yes, sir.
Good. Good.
Yes, sir. It would be the same type of service as what the sheriff has.
Good.
You know, maybe to think about the radios that go inside the truck, just maybe not to do all the trucks, because they are gonna have their handhelds, but, you know, the trucks that we use the most, the water truck, stuff like that. But if y'all will come back with a count, and then we can put a number together. When we go back to 16 and 17, we'll get with Raul, and if we just get more or less a count, when we go back to that, if y'all will think about that, that way we put a dollar amount together. That way we see if we want to add it to the tax note, to the 3.9, or if we want to try to pay for it. So if we can just, between now and after 3:30, we can sort of, in our mind, put a count together, how many radios each precinct would need, that way we can come back to that. The item 19, it was canceled, it was tabled. Item 20, approval and ratification, we're gonna go ahead and table that one, and then we'll bring back the names of, the 3 individuals that have already, everything's in order. The names, we just need to present the names correctly. So we'll come back to it. Item 21, approval to purchase a refrigerator from the 83rd District Court in the amount of $549.99 to be paid out of the 83rd District Court office supplies.
Move. Second.
Motion, Commissioner Flo, yes.
That price has changed. It's gonna be $800. They decided on a different type of fridge, so
Okay,
added $1,500.
okay, the money's there? The money's there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Commissioner Flores, you okay?
Yeah, I accept.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 22, authorization to open a formal invitation to bid for a capital purchase of a small truck for county emergency management. They bought the Jeep, I guess 3 or 4 years ago, and it just, with everything that's going on right now, it's just not functional. It's not working. What we're looking at is probably a truck. All 3 of the local dealers had trucks. The trucks were stickered right at 32. It'd be a small, crew cab, like a Tacoma, a little Nissan, or I think the other ones are like a Canyon.
Are we trading in that Jeep?
Not right now. I think, purchasing has said that if we keep it, that they would like to use it just for all the running around there. So right now, we would not be trading in the Jeep, but we need to set aside $32,000. And I guess I need to, within this motion, if y'all are gonna approve it, to buy the truck, where we're gonna get the $32,000.
I would be more comfortable if y'all looked at something like a Suburban, than a pickup, a four-wheel drive Suburban. If we're hauling people to different locations and stuff, we need a bigger vehicle. But that's just my personal opinion.
It's gonna be more money.
No, I understand it's gonna be more money, but I think it's a more universal piece of equipment that can be used. If you're hauling stuff out to fires, or if you're hauling people out to different events or whatever, you have the ability to move more people in a vehicle.
I think it worked out for our,
I love my Suburban.
okay.
I just think it's a better
If
fit.
anyone had any questions about that.
I don't think rolling like a big vehicle.
Well, in what he just brought up, I know that when he's brought out lunch and everything else, it's like there's not enough room for the ice chest and stuff. And you're right, he doesn't like big vehicles, but it's one of those deals that, he gets in there and might not.
I'm a camper for the truck.
What did we pay for it? 56? I had a 56.
No, and mine will pull a trailer. And mine will pull a good, if there was ever a need to pull a trailer as an emergency management vehicle, mine pulls it.
Okay, so would the court
Probably
be
about
okay?
65, depending on.
But where are we gonna get the money from? I mean, that's the thing there. Do we add it to the tax note, or?
No, we've got money in contingency. Matt's looking.
Yeah, we can. I know there's other avenues, maybe.
Do you?
You know what, Judge, if we're gonna do that, why don't we just buy a van that's like $30,000 van? Those small vans.
I think the Suburban would be better.
You need something four-wheel drive if you're gonna be out in that country up there. When do we need it?
Just as soon as possible. It don't need to be tomorrow, it don't need to be next week, but right now he's hauling everything in his own personal
The
truck.
reason I'm saying is we have money set aside in here for equipment, and I think some of this stuff may come in less than what we had anticipated, and there may be, I guess we could reimburse ourselves at that point if we took it out of contingency.
Well, let's do this.
You could.
Yeah.
If your tax note, if those items in the tax note, which some are already probably over the amounts, the radios, then budgeted over. So that is a possibility.
Well, if y'all will give me, if we can get a.
I'll make a motion to authorize to go out for, do we need to go out for bids, or, well, it's gonna be over 50.
Yeah.
So, to go out for bids for a four-wheel drive Suburban, to be paid out of contingency with the possibility of reimbursing out of leftover money from tax notes.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second. Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Against? 5-0 vote. Item 20C. Item 23, authorization to open a formal invitation to bid for a capital purchase of a mid-sized SUV for the district attorney's office to be paid out of the BPU Border Prosecution Grant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 24, approval to purchase a fire brush truck for Valverde County Fire Department at a total cost of $252,699 from Skeeter Brush Truck through Government Co-op HGAC SS 12-119A to be paid from available funds in general capital outlay. Auction money and contingency, we had $200,000 we set aside. Gilmore, how much money did we have in auction money? Do you know?
In auction money, I think it's about maybe 20,000.
Okay, so $33,000 rounded off is what we need.
What,
Yes, I believe so.
Sure.
what truck is this?
That's that brush truck?
I have here written down that it's 18,000 and 2,000, so about 20,000 from the auction money.
It's the brush
And
truck
the remainder will be over 30.
okay. It's the brush truck that, y'all had sent. The
Oh,
one with the
yeah.
super singles in the back, and then it has the little nozzles in the front.
Yeah.
But they can also spray it, has a
Chevrolet.
wheel in the back and a 1,000-gallon tank.
I will, make a motion to approve, to take the money out of the capital outlay auction money and contingency, and if there is money left over in any of the, tax note expenditures, we would reimburse.
Second. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores.
Is, the auction money, does the auction money from precincts go back to the precincts?
Yes, sir.
This, not this, right?
No, sir.
Oh,
No,
good.
this auction money is auction money that the fire trucks or stuff that he had was auctioned.
Oh, okay.
And it went back to his.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Carlos, discussion possible action on preliminary master plan for Valverde County Fairgrounds. Carlos has already did some changes, and so the court,
You wanna put it on that?
okay, we'll pick it up. What they came up with right now, Nelson, you do it for what? We've come up with, we've got, we've got the football field, 3 little league fields. This area right here would contain 3 basketball courts, but they're concrete slabs with a covered roof. No, they wouldn't have the walls, it'd just be the floor and and then you had, one of the plans that the Fairgrounds Committee had come up with, they had a facility up front, like in a little event center. So here's a 15,000 square foot event center. We know that with all this drainage and everything, we're gonna need a retention tank that we have to add. We've got the parking lot, what it's not showing right now, this parking lot would be extended, all this right here would be parking lot. So, we've got the fields, the grandstands would remain the same, we're actually working, Commissioner Nettleton, you asked about covering the grandstands. Covering the grandstands, with the numbers that we'll present you a little bit later, that's not in there, but Carlos is working on trying to get a design for trusses in order to be able to cover the area where the grandstands are, where they sit. But the plan right now would be for the baseball fields, all that, and then you've got your 2 softball fields back here, and then there's that softball field here that I think we've been trying to tie in.
The school district currently can't host softball tournaments because they don't have enough fields. This would give them the ability to host some softball tournaments, and then for our youth to have the ability to have tournaments.
So, in doing that, like I say, all this, would be parking. There's a pavilion, or where the pavilion was at, in this area, it'll be brought down, and then there's gonna be a 6,000 square foot, yeah, there's gonna be a 6,000 square foot, another pavilion put right here, basically for the, you know, when they go to have events, they have a little dance, or have a place for them to set up. One of the things that, Bobby asked yesterday was that if, when that was built, I told him we're probably thinking about putting like a little kitchen area in there, and then, he asked if maybe we could build a stage towards the back, and naturally you'd have your restrooms and stuff. But that would be about 6,000 square foot, which is a heck of a lot more area than what they have now for the event. Then back here, it was voted on to keep the horses, and, there's 5 shed rows. These are the older shed rows, the oldest shed rows, these right here, and then this is the metal shed row here. We've already put in the building, with court's approval. We moved the building from the hospital. It's been moved in, and I think this week, they should have everything within the building hooked up. We don't have the water, the sewer, the electrical hooked up yet, but everything that, they moved it 7 pieces, so all that will be hooked up today. It's put together, they just ain't hooked up to ductwork and stuff like that. Here, there's a need for just to store all the equipment, and this one area right here is like a 71 by 81, which is half of the metal shed room where Samuel's at. We've already visited with him, and what we would do is remove all the inside, leave the roof, remove all the inside, build concrete, put some roll-up doors, and redo the electrical in this area here so they can move all the equipment over here. And then the other half, with what Artemio has and the individual that's there right now, they'll fit in this other half without a problem. So they could fit in this other half. What we've asked them also was, they park all their trailers right here when we get started, to move these trailers, either back up along this fence, or back over here, or over here. We'll pick a spot for them to get them out. That way there's a round pin here. Edgar had said, I'm using it here with Martin, the round pin is over here once all this happens. We'll take these round pins and put them here along this side. There's a walker right here. That walker would be moved back over here, so if we have a fire or something happens, they can get all the way around the shed rows. That right now, the way it stands right now, they're making that plan. If I'm not mistaken, there was like 40 RV spots. All we drew in right now is just gonna be 10, but all this area is not being used. Back here, we left this parking here, and the way they would get in to this area here would be off of 17th Street, or 18th Street, or whatever that is. Judge, one of the concerns was that, is this street wide enough? It's wide enough, and there's no way to move it because there's a gas deal. But the street is wide enough. Sir.
I had a question on the storage, room. Why don't y'all move the storage room next to the office in that corner that's vacant, and you leave all that area open?
I'm required to have parking in here, and when you go look, there's no parking
Okay.
in the building.
That makes sense.
And we don't have this one here, if we go to cut it in half, all my structure is there, all I have to do is throw concrete. And when we go through the numbers right now, you'll look that we're already spending, about $60,000 in there. If we gotta go build a roof, it's just gonna be more money. One of the other things, and again, when we go through the numbers, the grandstands, the court has decided to go all aluminum bleachers. We've got prices on that. A lot of the purlin that comes off the grandstands, these people, when they come and set up for their bulls, they bring in their own pins because what we've got built does not do them any good. So we had thought that there were some pins built, some smaller ones on one side, but there's no alleyway. You gotta go like pin by pin to open doors, which that doesn't work. So we had thought about, when we go to do this, build a new set of pins, and basically there'd be like over 40 pins for bulls, smaller pins. And then all those with the purlin that we get here and the tin that we're gonna get off some of these other buildings, we can cover those bulls. They have a hard time when it rains. They're putting up tarps. So all that area where the bulls are at would be covered. And we've talked about the water runoff, maybe burying or building a 15, 20,000 gallon tank, a concrete tank, and have all that water runoff go in that tank, and then we can use it for fields later on if we need to. But at least we have the water runoff, and not just having to build another retention tank up here because we've got so much area covered that all the water out nowhere to go. One of the other things, I guess in the committee was that they wanted an event center, some type of bigger event center. And we could do that. We have area here. It's not gonna be nowhere near what Uvalde has, but it's one of those deals, we were trying to get this done because like last year, the court had wanted to apply for a grant. We were jumping through hoops, what'd you say, backwards and on fire and all that good stuff. Trying to get it done out of the 2,600 acres. And we'll put a stop on that. We thought this would be the best area. And we could begin to work on grants for that, that would be turned in, I guess, in August. We were shooting for the last time, August, right?
The best thing of this, Judge, is that it's a centralized location. Not that ranch is way out there,
No, and then you have, there's gonna be some changes. Right now, we'll go through the proposal as to what we think needs to get fixed, or what we put together for y'all to decide what needs to get fixed. Just for example, the 4-H barn's gonna have a new roof. The goat runs are gonna have a new roof. One of the things that we've heard, the 4-H, where the horses are at, we've done everything in the world down there, and we still get water when it floods, going through the deal. So, I think there's 40 stalls, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere like that. But if we were to cut this one in half and do 20 right now, do 20 stalls, build it up, and make them the same width, but make them a little bit further, a little bit deeper, for the simple reason that's just the way the tin works out, or the purlin, that way you don't have a purlin 2.5 feet. We have a price to do that. Basically fix this, the shed row, build 20 brand new stalls there, lighting for the 4-H arena, new lighting, and then a new restroom, new lights for this arena, new lights for this arena. And then we have 5 shed rows in the pavilion that will have to take down the roof and get that done, and then re-roof the 5 shed rows. We'll re-roof the 5 shed rows, re-roof this one, that one, fix this area right here, like I said, the aluminum, bleachers, and right now when we go back, we'll go down item for item again. But this is what, so far we've come up with. I think, that was, you wanted the softball field where they're at, and we actually called it the high school. They're ecstatic. It was just, I mean, they're, Carlos said that they were really, really excited if we could put this down here.
And they're willing to let it, if we need a little bit of room in that area of theirs down there, they're willing to let us do some things if we have to.
And we built the fields, these fields here to the size that they wanted, to the size that the high school wanted. God was called them just to make sure what we were going to be able to put in there. So when we go to do this, we will need a little bit of room here off of their property, which we get back to Dr. Rios and the school board. But, the fields will be closed, and you'll see on the plans that are in front of you, it has its own restroom down here. This one here, we'll put another, it has restrooms here, but we'll fix those, make them a little bit bigger. This area here, inside the shop, it'll have its own restroom. This building here has its own restroom. And then when we go to do the grandstands, the bathroom in the back, we'll have to bring back to the court, depending on how we're doing everything else, to redo all these restrooms here. And through the grant, I know I'm jumping everywhere, but through the grant, what we've applied for is to do what is going to impact the kids. That's what we've done. That's what we've applied, through the grant. This pavilion over here, we're not gonna put it on the deal. Unless later on we think we could get more money, but I think if we stick to what we can use it, what we can use for the kids and stick that with the grant, I think we get more brownie points. Is that right, Tom?
Well, we need to have multiple elements. We'll have to do some, we need to look at, do some other stuff besides this one.
And partnering with the school, would that help?
The more stakeholders.
And I think one of the things we had on the other one, that you have a walking track or something where they walk around, so there's enough area here that you could get around and have a walking track and some spaces for them. The city's already started, the Field of Dreams, and I think, you've been out there clearing, and Martin and Juan, y'all sent trucks to help haul brush off of, and you've been out there too, Commissioner. So, I mean, that process out there is working already. I think y'all did a good thing by moving from the 26 acres back over here. Like you say, it's more centrally located, and then you've got those other fields that are close also.
Yeah.
I'll go over the numbers right now. Y'all have any questions with what's there, or anything we need to move?
It works.
If you have questions, you just come over here.
I've come in to see you.
It's the thing I'm
He's awake this morning.
It's got your shed row, and then it's got 10 foot of them walking there, where they come out of the thing, so when you need to pass that.
I just wondered if it shuts that sign off.
They can't come this way. They have to go in the covered area, down the covered area.
And I know that there is, originally put in restrooms for the
There's one back over here. One that we can find.
Caving in.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll need
Open
to,
septic tank.
we'll end up needing to fix the restroom for them.
Yes, yes. What's
The,
there is not.
and then the other deal, there is that walker here.
Yeah.
They've already talked to Tony, and he said, that, you know, if he could move whatever we get, he'd be happy because it's the end of the shed row. And the whole thing is to get, we never had it to where in case something happens, we can go around it. We'd have to stop over here and then run if we were to have a fire or anything. So this way they can drive all the way around the shed.
And this can still be opened up.
Yeah, this right here, they can come through here later on or whatever. Your entrance to the fairgrounds, one of the things we looked at is either here or here, but we'll get with, horse people to check and see what they do. I just didn't know because it was on the.
Public's just now figuring out how to get through there.
Huh? Yes. No, you'd be able to still come through with the events that you have. But, you know, we had talked about the safety of everybody else, that way try to contain it as much as possible in case a horse gets loose.
Just a couple.
Good deal.
Judge, is there gonna be any tearing down, demolition of, old horse stables, the ones on the very back over there?
All these right here will be torn down,
Okay,
all of it. All that's metal, all that will be torn down. At some point, the court will have to decide, what we're gonna do with all this tin. I know that there's been some precincts that need to build some sheds, build barns. There's a massive amount of tin that's coming off of that and enormous amount of pipe. The purlin, you know, we thought about using the purlin. What'd you say, 5,000, 6,000 linear feet?
you think we could divide it 4 ways? I mean, when it comes to that?
And get the board, yeah, I don't see why not. I'd like to use this purlin here to cover the bulls. They keep complaining that there's no covered area for the bulls. And like I said, you know, you start seeing a bunch of blue tarps pop up.
We can't reutilize some of that tin for covering the grandstands?
We could, if you'll give us, he's trying to design trusses, and he got all excited. I've never seen somebody so excited. He told me that this is what he loves. is to design the trusses.
If we can cover it and then put some bigger fans in there so that it flows back.
We have a clear span of 60 feet, and we're thinking about an overhang on another extra 20.
And what that does is it covers from basically the grandstand itself, and then the overhang of 20 is from where they end, where the box seats are, up towards the fence and where the light poles are. Right.
Yeah, and then if we can put some fans underneath that so that it, you know, keeps the air circulating.
And I'm telling you, he got all excited, and it was like, you know, this is what I like.
That's what I went to school for.
Talking to Carlos, I noticed that the old shooting facility is removed on the map.
It is removed on the map, but does it need to be?
Can you keep that? I mean, it's a great facility that we can have, it's a great extra meeting room facility, you can get multiple kids meeting.
If all this was if we were sort of sprinkling prairie dust,
Right.
you'd have a 15,000 covered area over here, a brand new facility.
That's true, yeah.
Yes.
Which we could hold the barbecues in and all that.
Yeah,
Right.
and then the reason is, we're gonna need more parking. So if we move the shooting barn out there, and we were to do away with it here, you'd have a brand new facility with a kitchen and everything, just right next to the porch, right next to the porch.
Okay, but it would be like the last.
We would not tear this one down unless you have that.
Okay, perfect.
That work?
Yes, thank you.
Good.
Judge, you and Carlos did a heck of a job in this planning.
Okay, when we get back to it. Well, I will tell you, everybody had input, from softball fields to. So everybody's pretty good with that?
Oh, you look good. I like it.
Okay, we'll go to item 26.
Motion or something on that, or?
That'd probably be cleaner.
I'll make a motion to approve presented master plan for fairgrounds.
Second.
Are we on?
Item 25.
Motion to approve the presented master plan for the fairgrounds.
Seconded by Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 26. Y'all were handed a copy of this one page. This is what the cost breakdown is. If you'll look at the exhibition on the 4-H, that's the barn. These are all just material costs. At the very end of it, we'd already approved to hire some people, but that's the cost on that. But we'll go down the list. Exhibition, $43,000. The goat run 10. The 4-H, you had asked about building the new stalls. So if we put in, right now you have 40, you would have 20 brand new, and if we need to build more, we can build more, but you have 20 brand new stalls.
We don't have that many horses in there right now, do
Well, I
we?
think you can even do, you could do a different layout than it is, that would benefit those kids a little bit better, that might be some very fun. I don't know, getting that into the color.
Well, and we got basically $90,000 for material. Remove roof on 5 shed rows in the pavilion, that came in about 160, and that we will contract out. Replace the 5 shed rows, the material, the bleachers were 135 for the aluminum for the grandstand. And then you have lights for the 3 arenas. Those are not with poles, those are just lights. The 71 by 81 is that area where Artemio's at. That would be the new equipment room for equipment barn or building maintenance. You have the roof at the grandstands. We set a little bit more money aside than what was going to be needed, but that will help sort of do the rest. The roof equipment barn for the horse barn, that's Artemio's was $25,000, and then the 4 people. We came up with $932,276. And if there's $1,306,000 that we had for this area, for the fairgrounds. So we're not dipping into other areas other than just what's at the fairgrounds. The $1,306,000, right?
And plus another 35,000.
Plus another 35. Okay. What does that come up to?
1,341,000.
And that's insurance money.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the money, when you look at it, we had $272,000 that was not covered by insurance that's fixing to be done. So if you look at the 4-H, there's $89,000 on new buildings, so there's $361,000. And then the equipment barn, another $67,000. So we had $428,000 of this $932 that was not insured. This will, once we do the shed rows and redo them, they will be insurable.
Make a motion,
Sir?
we're on 26.
We're on 26, yes, sir.
27.
So I just want to make sure that y'all are okay with the numbers, and then we can proceed to get bids on the material, and purchase them.
I'll make a motion to get quotes and bids on fairgrounds, grandstands, materials using aluminum, and removal, installation performed in-house.
And everything on cost improvements for the
Cost
cost.
improvement.
Okay.
Second and check.
Motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0 vote. Discussion and possible action, on proceeding with repairs of buildings at fairgrounds.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. If y'all want, we can go back, it's after 9:30, and I will text, Mr. Yes to know right now that if you'll call in. Somebody talked a lot.
That'd be you.
Let's wait for him to call in and then
The bridge is over here.
the bridge is on.
Can we discuss the amount?
Yeah, we're gonna pass it right now, this time. For all of y'all out there, we're just waiting for our financial advisor to call in, so we can move on to another item. or move back to item 16 and 17. Or maybe not. Or maybe not. Who knows? Do you have those? You have those? So? Yeah. We're gonna move on a little bit. You'll call in and we'll just keep going until he calls in. Okay, we'll move on to 28. We'll get done with some of the stuff. Approval to relocate the City of Del Rio cleanup to Valverde County Fairgrounds on February 6th.
Motion to approve.
A motion, Commissioner Nelson, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 29, authorizing Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez to renew the interlocal agreement between Valverde County, Texas and Kinney County, Texas, agreement is to provide for the housing and care of certain inmates incarcerated or to be incarcerated in Valverde County Correctional Facility.
Motion to renew interlocal agreement with Kinney County.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 30, requesting ratification of memorandum of understanding between Valverde County Sheriff's Office and Comstock Independent School District.
Motion.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
That was awesome. He was text the deal. Item 31, discussion approval to hire 4 temporary workers to work on county buildings and money to come out of insurance funds.
Motion to approve and create the positions
Second.
at a
Cost of
salary
$14 per hour.
14 per hour.
14 an hour.
Is that good?
$14 an hour, and then it was the 21% fringe plus insurance, so it came up to a total cost of about $185,000.
All right, 14 an hour plus benefit.
One second.
So they're gonna be full-time employees?
Yes.
Okay.
In case you get hurt. A second, Commissioner Nettleton, a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Approving human resource reports from January 21st, 2021 through February 2nd, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote.
Thank you.
Would y'all want to take a little break until we get Commissioner, or get, Raul Senor on the phone, take a little 5-minute break if y'all don't mind?
All right.
Well, don't call him yet.
I'm pretty cheap.
We're back in session. We're back in session, went back to items 16 and 17. I guess our interest rates came back in a little bit less than we expected, which is always good.
And just a reminder, Judge, that we've, I think, footnoted on the presentation that those were the rates as of that day.
Yes, sir.
What's the actual price? They could be, plus or minus 5, 10, 15 basis.
Okay, the other thing was, I think, Carlos, on Frontera, you had a schedule. Matt, did you already see that schedule? On the payments, on what they're projecting?
I did.
And seeing that schedule, would you anticipate that it'd be better to go out for this note earlier than later?
Well, that was just one vendor. We needed all the vendors in total, because it's just.
Yeah, it's always a function, there's two sort of competing forces here, Judge.
Okay.
On the one hand is when do you need the money, and on the second hand is there an expectation that interest rates will, dramatically either improve or degrade, over that period of time?
Okay, well, and that's what I was trying to get to, as to when we would need the money, because if you'll see there was a schedule there, Matt, we set aside funds. Go ahead, Mr. Villalobos.
Judge, that, my recommendation is always going to be borrow the money when you need it. Because if you wait to borrow money at the best interest rate, you would never borrow money. Because you'd be second guessing yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I guess the first one is the 3.9. Would y'all be comfortable, in waiting on that one for another month to figure out if we're gonna add more to that 3.9? Whether it be Commissioner Flores has asked for 100, more than what he's getting now, because of two other precincts having dozers, so we need to come up with that decision today. So, going another $100,000 to make it even $4 million. Anybody?
But I think in all fairness, all I'm asking the $100,000, Judge, is to upgrade my track loader. It's 20 years old. And I don't want a new one. I just want to get one that's maybe 3-4 years old. And that's the reason I'm asking for those $100,000.
So we're giving you $500,000.
Oh, yeah, everybody's getting $500. On this deal, Precinct 1, Precinct 2, and 3 are y'all are getting over $1.5 million for equipment. Precinct 4 is not getting nothing.
You're getting $2 million for a road.
But not for equipment.
Let's do this.
Spend $2 million.
Let's do this. Let me get past this one. Do I hear a motion to add $100,000 to this 3.9?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, do I have a second? No second. Motion fails. Yes, sir, Matt?
It was just on the equipment, I know we did the 2016, so we're new now. What's our anticipated future? When's the next time Road and Bridge is gonna need more significant equipment, capital requirements?
We usually go about every 5 to 7 years.
Okay, so if we do one in 21, then it's not expected until 26, maybe?
Usually 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
I think, in just my opinion, with the amount of money that we've, done for equipment, last year, and then what we're fixing to do this year, I don't see us going back for 7 years.
Yeah, I don't have an idea.
Okay.
My precinct's gonna be good for, short of a disaster, but that'll be covered by insurance.
So we should be good for 7 years.
Okay.
And especially, that's the way we're structuring the note. So it would be good, just like Enterprise, we're gonna be rotating cars out, so it'd be good that we just don't keep going back to the well to get more water.
Okay, excellent.
Okay. Radios, if we need to on the radios, we'll just come back and figure that out later. Just stick with the 3.9.
Yeah, but I thought we had some money left or something for radios.
Well, I will, if we're just gonna throw everything out, we've got funds available from other places that we received money. One of them is our insurance money, like on the cars, and we're fixing to spend $300,000 on him, so there's a couple $100,000 there. So there would be funds, because we're already doing something else with the cars that we're not using that money.
Yeah.
That we could bring those funds in if needed in order to purchase radio.
Should cover the radio cost.
Yes.
Maybe the reason why we.
And we know that 200 some odd thousand.
Yeah.
On insurance on the cars that we're not fixing.
Correct.
So there's 200 some odd $1,000 there that we've not touched, but yet, if people are watching this, then they're just spending money, we're fixing to use another 300,000 that we'd already had, 200 some odd thousand we already had budgeted to start the Enterprise contract.
Yes.
Right? So it isn't like we're just putting those cars over to one side and we're not gonna do anything for the sheriff's office. They will be getting new cars, and that's part of a bigger plan.
They are, and that's gonna start very quickly.
Okay. Raul, the 3.9, I guess, if we're set on the 3.9, we've already ordered the dozers, we're gonna order the paving equipment, and I guess, Guillermo, when do you anticipate that those bills would be coming in? And like Raul said, there's no sense in borrowing the money unless we're fixing to write the check. So when would you anticipate all that equipment coming in and the 3.9 happening? And I know.
The dozers,
The
The
dozers,
dozers is about 10 to 13 weeks, so they probably won't, they won't invoice us until for another 10, 13 weeks.
They had called needing some kind of form signed, they needed you to sign something, a purchase order or a work order or something, so they could start.
Yeah, I sent him over his purchase order and I sent the sales agreement.
Okay.
okay. The other paving equipment, so I guess my question is, when do we do the 3.9? When do y'all feel comfortable?
How long will it take to get it issued, bro?
30 to 60 days at a minimum.
Yeah, so I mean, you kinda gotta start the process now.
Yeah, cause y'all want paving equipment, we're gonna have to go order and pay for that too. And that stuff's actually sitting there. I mean,
You can actually buy
the
it.
paving equipment you can buy, you don't have to order like the dozers. So I just don't want to.
Judge, if I may, for the pavement equipment, I would say, for right now, I don't have any lead times, I would say at least 90 days
Okay.
for those.
So if we're talking 60 days to bring in the 3.9, we probably need to start that process
Yes.
now. Raul, are you okay with that?
I'm fine with that, yes, sir.
Okay, we have it.
I will make a motion to start the process to do a $3.9 million tax note.
Okay, and, on item 16, we'll go back to item 16, consideration and approval of a resolution relating to establishing the county's intention to reimburse itself. I need a motion on that one.
Okay. I move that Commissioners Court adopt a reimbursement resolution.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Second. Second, Commissioner Wardlow.
I believe you have to state it in balance.
Okay, it'd be the 3.9 plus the,
3.9 million, not to exceed 3.9 million.
okay, and then.
Plus, well, no, you got your issuance costs, so we need to,
Well, that's fine, but then you have the other CO.
Yeah, they have the other 3.3. Yeah, so you have one for 3.9, you have one for 3,975,000.
Okay, there you go.
And then you're going to have another one, then you'll have another one,
for 3.7.
3,370,000.
So not to exceed, 7.5.
That work, Raul? And that's both of them to put together, and that's issuance also.
Yes. Now, the only thing else I would need for the COs is, which of the three options you folks prefer.
Okay, and we'll vote on that one in just a minute. We'll vote, get this one out of the way, and then we'll do separate, items, that way we're perfectly clear which way we're running. Okay?
Thank you.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. Commissioner Wardlaw, did you accept?
Yes.
The changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? 5-0 vote. Okay, the one on the 3.3, the 3,370,000, there was a 10-year, a 15-year, and a 20-year. If you look at the difference of interest between the 10 and the 15, it's less than the difference of interest between the 15 and the 20. So, I mean, I would recommend the 15, and when you look at it, we've been going over the numbers. It's all big,
That's that's about a penny cost, less than a penny in tax to cover it.
and if you look at it,
Right, Raul?
That's correct.
On a 15, less than a penny?
Yes,
And the
sir.
savings difference between the 15 and the 20 is,
interest,
interest savings, you have just kind of a ballpark, I know you don't have it right off the top of
I
your
had
head.
it on the board. It was like 300 some odd thousand. Thank
Well,
you.
the annual payment would be $371,000 for the 10-year, and $204,000 for the 15.
I actually have it written down on my board. I don't know, but the interest between the 10 and the 15, and the interest that we pay difference between the 15 and the 20, the interest is less between the 10 and the 15 and the 15 and the 20. So that's how come I saying the 15 would be the better one. And then if you look at the payments,
Yeah, it's the same as,
this court, it also talks about, maybe paying off the 1.7 that we had. If we pay off that 1.7, the payment on this one, on the 15, the payment that we had on the 1.7 would make that 15-year payment, without a problem.
I will make a motion that we do a certificate of obligation on a 15-year structure.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Everybody okay with that? Good talking.
Is that what you need, Raul, just to start the process, or do we need to do something?
Yeah. No, sir, that'll at the very least, authorize us to proceed with preparing the sales. We still have to come back to the court for the approval of the final sale.
Yeah.
Now, just to make sure I'm understanding, you want us to, begin the process for the tax notes, and, I may have missed the timing on the COs.
The COs, if you'll wait and give us a couple of months to see what our dollars are gonna be, or do you wanna work on that now, Matt? I mean, because you're not gonna need the money for a couple of months, for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, we can do the preliminary work, on the CO. And then as we're working on the tax notes and you folks, continue to work on your end, you can certainly pull the trigger and just simply let us know, or we can talk about it, when we come back to you to approve the sale of the tax notes.
Well, either way, when you bring it back for the sale of the tax note, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
That work, Matt? That work. Okay.
But we'll do some preliminary work on the CO so that if, when we come back to sell the tax notes, you folks say, gosh, we need the money in 45 days, we're already kind of ahead of the process.
Okay. You're the greatest, don't tell them, Tom. Está bueno. Mr. Villasenor, do you need anything else from us? Are we good?
Just want you to remember that the meter's not running when you talk to me.
That's the other guy, right?
Yeah. That's when we get the attorney involved.
Thank you, sir. Been a pleasure. Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
I don't mind, Dr. Palau's on, right? We'll come back to item 15, COVID-19. And I think we have some good news on how we're rolling with. Dr. Palau, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're up next. How's everything going? I know it's been sort of rough, a little bit, but I got a text message a little while ago that it looks like, we're all set and to keep looking out for our allocation. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So, I don't think we're gonna receive anything this week, but we are expecting to receive maybe some next week, but we don't know yet. It's something that we will find out at the beginning of the week, and we will receive maybe by Thursday, Friday, and then plan for an event on the weekend. So this week we won't have any, but next week we have the second dose of the ones that got vaccinated on January 23rd. And if we receive another allocation, well, we will have to plan to have one day for the first dose and then the other day for the second dose. Last weekend, we vaccinated 1,224 people, which is a lot, which is great. The vials lately have been overfilled, so we were able to get 7 doses instead of 6. The minimum is 5 always. So that let us get more people vaccinated. And on that is one side, and then on the other side, with the cases and the positivity rate, we have started to see that the cases have been going down. I think we're over our holiday spike. We are still having a high positivity rate of about 24, but in December we were at 30, so we're down with that. Unfortunately, I don't think we still need to continue enforcing masks and social distancing because some counties surrounding us have a high spike, like Maverick County. Maverick County right now has a lot of cases. They're not over their spike yet. So on our end, it's good. I think right now, we have less than 1,000 active cases. So that's good because on the holidays, we were over 1,000. And we are releasing about 60 to 100 people per day.
I guess the problem is that there was some confusion as to Val Verde regional and then emergency operations, and then I think that all got cleared up, right? I mean, I think Dr. Lauda, you and Roland were on the phone and got that cleared up yesterday, so it looks like now we should start getting our own allocations. You know, it was amazing what, Dr. Lauda and Roland and Reno had done with, with the way it was organized, the layout of it. It was, you know, I give y'all a lot of credit, I mean, because it was unbelievable. It was amazing. When y'all did, I think we did 1,136 and I think 1,224 the next, 2 different Saturdays. That was just, it was amazing. We're set up, the county, you know, I called y'all, you know, let y'all know what we needed, and it was one of those things that we're set up. Whether they bring us the Pfizer, whether they bring us the Moderna, it don't matter. We're set up. We've got a freezer that will go to negative 80 Celsius, and we have a freezer that will go whatever. Yeah. And we've got the data loggers. We're set up. All we're waiting for, like everybody else's vaccine, sort of like a pretty woman all this stuff and nowhere to go. Yeah. But it was, it's amazing, you know, to watch these people work. It's just, damn.
Well, they've done a great job. I've heard great things about everything y'all done in the process. So, thank you.
You know, one of the things also, and we had a concern with the immigrants. You know, I know that, you know, are they being checked? Are they being, you know, and they're doing checks, I guess, as best as they can, as they're coming in. You know, one of the things that, you know, I tell the sheriff like a couple of weeks ago, and I keep bringing it up to everybody. Sheriff asked what else could go wrong, and I asked them to please quit asking. It just seems like they keep bringing more stuff. Roland, do you have anything to add?
No, other than the fact that just to add a little bit more on.
His kids told me he looks like Willie Nelson.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. The big piece on our allocation was we wanted to make sure that we were considered as a provider in an enrollment process. It generally takes 14 days to get approval. We got it in less than 7. And we've got, basically, as Judge stated, we've got all of our freezers and data loggers. So now, I emailed, we've been asking, we've been communicating, what's the holdup? They're trying to get the second dose allocations out, and then we're going to start renewing on the new allocations. So hopefully, once we get that first one, it'll be coming weekly. So other than that, we're ready.
I also want to thank our state rep and our state senator. They have really stepped up in this process to make sure that we get what we need, and have done a phenomenal job in working with the judge and everybody to get everything moving.
No, as a matter of fact, Representative Morales was here, Representative Morales was here on Saturday, which he, you know, took time out of his schedule to come down. Senator Gutierrez was here, or not here, but he was on the phone, text messages. He's like sort of a text message buddy now, every day. Yeah, it's like, you know, if nothing else, just to say hello, and, you know, but they've done a great job.
And just one more thing on the allocation as it relates to being a provider. Our application is in to be the provider, so once our surveys come back, they'll ask us to review some of our demographics and talk about what we've done for allocations. Once that's in, we turn in the survey, and then we get the official designation as provider. So we're pending that. That's a hub, I'm sorry. Hub.
Is some of the local pharmacies going to start doing vaccinations too? I keep hearing they might, like CVS, HEB, Walmart.
HEB's already started.
Right. They didn't get an allocation last week. No one in Dover got an allocation other than UMC, and it was only 100 doses. So everybody's still on standby, but that contract for the pharmacies is through the federal government, not through the state. So that's another program that won't impact us or our allocations.
Are they still following the same tiers as pharmacies?
Yes, sir.
No matter what?
No matter what, right.
You know, and we've asked, yesterday, on the phone with Cornyn's office, we asked, you know, our Border Patrol and our Port of Entry, our ICE, our federal partners, you know, they were told, well, if you want to go to San Antonio, go to the Veterans. You know, I told them, Senator Cornyn's office yesterday, I said, it's not fair. I said, you have EMTs, Border Patrol has like 80.
Yes, sir.
You know, they could administer their own vaccine, but they don't have it. So you're going to have them take time off to go, and I mean, it's just burdensome. And it doesn't make sense, you know, and it's not Border Patrol, it ain't ICE, it ain't none of these people's fault. It's, you know, the people higher up in the food chain. You know, if we had the vaccine, we'd help them.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, we can't afford for them to go down. They take care of us.
No.
You know, but if we had the vaccine,
Are they considered first responders?
They're considered frontline, first responders as well. And just so that,
We
to
have
add,
included them in the two
Right.
vaccinations, we have included Border Patrol and Customs agents.
I know the Customs sent their report, up-to-date report, and we've helped, we vaccinated close to a little over 50% of the Customs, border protection, so.
I know there's still a lot of border patrolmen that are trying to get in.
Right.
and with, you know, sort of trying to, Dr. Louder and Roller are trying to split percentages, that way, you know, try to hit a little bit of everybody, versus just, you know, hitting all of one, and then, so, you know, they're doing a good job of it. You know, one of the things is, you say, well, I've been registered and nobody's called me, you know, what's going on? You are registered, you're not being called because you don't have an appointment, you know? And we did call some people in, during the day that were on the list, because it was dependent on how much vaccine was coming out of a vial. But, you know, like I explained to people, if we had it, you'd get it. I mean, there's no, you know, just,
It's
we don't have it.
problem more than anything
Yes.
else.
And we'll improve on the appointment process. I know that Dr. Lado's working on fine tuning that, and the judge has given us an opportunity to kind of look at different options to work.
One of the things that they're asking for right now is a program, if we can, use money out of the COVID account, to redo the appointments and have a little bit better grasp on what's going on. The program ran, if I'm not mistaken, the upfront cost to begin with was, I know it was like $800 a month service fee, but the upfront cost was 13.
It was about $798.
$790 a month, yeah, 800, but that was it, there wasn't an upfront cost, I thought there was something.
Yeah,
about it.
the upfront cost is about 1300.
That's what I thought. So that's what they're asking for today, if we can use some of the COVID money for the upfront cost of 1,300, and then we'd have a better handle on what's going
I make a
on.
motion that we authorize the expenditure of, what is it?
It was 1,300 upfront cost, and about $800 a month.
And 800 a month.
So I think it's appointment plus, or what is it? What is it called, Dr. Lado?
I have a motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. You know, it's one of those deals, she's trying to get to where if you make an appointment, that's what gives you an appointment. If you make,
Kind of like a doctor's deal where it tells you what's going on.
you know, this right here, if we can get this on, I know that every commissioner has expressed, concern, that how do we, you know, the elderly, how do we get them registered? Well, with this, it'd help us not only register them, but set their appointments up. If the vaccine's coming, it says you already have an appointment. You know,
Are we still gonna consider what we talked about last time, going to these rural areas?
yes, and we have 10 laptops. Is that correct? 10 laptops. We're gonna get some hotspots for the ones for the areas that don't have internet.
Do we have internet? We never got internet at the building construct.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Because I got a lot of people asking what they can do,
No.
and I said we were gonna look at settings.
No, that's part of this process that y'all just did right now. If we can get this on, then it eliminates 2 or 3 steps. But if we can get them registered, then it'll help set up an appointment right then. That way you're not having, I'm gonna call you back or whatever. But that's part of the system. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Mhm.
Okay. So with this, with the laptops, with the hotspots, we're set up, and then what we'll do is start setting appointments, at the different areas. One of the things that we had talked about in Precinct 1 in moving immigrants also was that if we could maybe and go back and use the Chihuahua Center, to register. Right now, and talk a little bit about immigrants, because all this ties together. I mean, it's just one of those deals that the city's doing just a heck of a job, and we're concerned about COVID. It's one of those deals, you know, with everything else coming in, we had 3 transportation companies that were getting them out. They no longer want anything to do with it. So, on Sunday, the city made a decision to move, because there were so many of them, to move into the Civic Center. At that point, it was the best decision to make. It just really was. We had phone calls that, why are they doing that? it was the right decision. Right now, as we speak, they are being moved, if I'm not mistaken, back to the Chihuahua Center, right now as we speak. What they've asked for us to store PPE and stuff like that for the workers there. The city's providing a building, the city's providing, police, the city's providing all that. What they asked for us is if we could buy them 2 containers to help them store some of their PPE and some of that, because they're scared. I mean, it's one of those deals, we need about $5,400 what is coming in right now to buy 2 storage containers. So we could, we can build it up, we could do that out of building maintenance, and then, once we bring back the cost, reimburse building maintenance with that cost. The city is, they've got fire, I think on Sunday night, they had fire and police there outside. I mean, they're stepping up. They really are. They did ask if we could get them 2 containers, and I told them I'd bring it to the court.
A motion to approve the purchase of 2 containers.
All right. That motion, Commissioner Nettleton?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote.
I'm assuming since the federal government screwed this up and created this mess, I'm assuming they're not gonna help pay for it.
Well, I'm visiting with Cornyn's office yesterday, and we have a meeting tentatively today with, Gonzalez. Is that right, Sheriff? We have a meeting today with Gonzalez. Like I told him, I go, I don't want to be a bother, but this isn't our problem. He agreed. He said, it shouldn't be a problem. I said, look, we're fixing to drop some money. We did the last time. City dropped a ton of money. Our NGOs, they're working off donations and everything else. I said, so who do I send the bill to? And the guy says, keep track of everything. The last go round, we set some money aside, and we're probably Cornyn's gonna be pushing to do this again. He says, but keep track of all the bills that are related to this. And, so we will keep track of everything we spend, and hopefully they get their stuff put together to where we can actually, we will, turn in a bill.
Yeah, I mean, they made this mess. I mean, we had our hands full, and they created another problem, and they need to step up and help us out a little bit. Because I can't afford to be fighting COVID and everything else, and then this disaster.
I wasn't here, I was here for the Immigants, but we weren't here as a court. With our other representatives, we weren't, I will tell you that our other representatives, state and federal, did do a good job, but right now I can tell you that sitting here, you sort of firsthand to see what they're doing for us. They're calling. I mean, how many times have you been on the phone with them? Everybody's been on the phone with them, visiting with them. The sheriff, Roland, Dr. Pala. I mean, they answer their phone. I mean, it's one of those deals. But I'm not saying the other ones didn't, because we had a good relationship with our other state representatives and also our federal representatives. But it's pretty impressive when you start getting text messages on a Saturday. 2 and 3 during the day. How's it going? How many do you have? Are y'all okay? What can we do for you? I mean, it's impressive. I mean, they're trying, but, I keep getting when we have a little bit, harsh conversation, I'm only one person in the puzzle, and they gotta get everybody else at their level to commit. Everybody wants to do the right thing, just nobody's pulling the trigger. Either way. Dr. Palau, do you have anything else for us?
So I think, the only thing to add was to define the plan to go to senior centers and get them appointments directly through the system, so that we don't have to struggle with the fact that they don't have emails or they don't have phones. So we will just go directly there, make an appointment for them to get vaccinated if they haven't, and then for them just to show up that vaccine clinic day. We want to target the elderly, we still do, so we just need to find them.
Okay. When you say senior center, you talk about nursing homes and stuff like that?
So nursing homes have been vaccinated,
Okay.
I think all of them.
Okay.
So it's mostly like assisted living, I think some of them haven't. I think Roland had a list of all the elderly centers that we can go and
Can we not work? Couldn't the housing authority have?
The housing authority, I got a phone call yesterday from Isidro. yesterday that anything they need, anything that we need, and they would help us in any way possible. That phone call was yesterday afternoon. They have their facilities that are open to us, even though they're closed to the public right now, we can use them. They could get us a list of the age and anything that they can give us that's not gonna violate any law, that they would help us with. And that was a phone call that we had yesterday with the city.
What about our additional testing sites that the state took out? Are we getting any closer to getting some of those back?
So, as of right now, we're not. We put in the request, but, the testing's gone down, so most of our clinics are back up, UMC's back up and operating. But as of right now, we haven't had any problems with the appointments at the testing center at Curative. So, we're still on standby. We did put in a request, they said mid-February to late February.
I'm more concerned about spring break coming here in a month and a half.
If Dr. Lauda feels we need another one based on testing, but we do have a request in.
Yeah, and we had a request in for mobile.
Right, mobile, yes, sir.
Now, they increased our appointment capacity to 300.
That's per day.
I think it was 600 now. I think it was 600. But right now, we're just meeting the 100 quota, so I don't think we need one right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking more convenience. It's hard for people in Zombie and Chihuahua and everywhere else to get all the way across town sometimes to some of these locations. I'm thinking more convenience for them in these other areas to be able to get a closer testing site.
What would you recommend?
Some mobile system that we can move around or something
We had
that
requested
we
a
can
mobile.
move from Chihuahua to Sanfi to Valverde to Senegas to, that some of these people don't have the ability to, I'm sure they can go get tested, it's just not an easy test.
We had requested, we were on the phone call with the guy from the state that takes care of these testing sites, and we requested a mobile. And what I told them is that we have Senegas, we have Valverde Park, it sort of work on the outside, sort of work our way in. We got Comstock, we got Chihuahua, and, like I told him, I said, well, if you just give me a bill and I'll put it on a trailer. But he said that he would try to get us a mobile site. And, we had thought, first conversation was February, the beginning of February, now we're at mid-February. Yeah.
The issue is that they depend a lot on the testing. So if they see that we're not testing that much, they don't go and help us with other forms of testing. So yeah, right now it's 600, the slots available per day, and we're just doing 100.
Well, I can also tell you there's a lot of people that are not getting tested because, and I've got these phone calls, they don't want to be thrown into our system where they get served by the sheriff and all the issues that go with it, so they're just not getting tested. And there is a group of people out there that don't want to, so there's probably more people that need to get tested, but they're afraid to because of the procedures that we use.
Well, I could tell you that, we had, I guess, an outbreak, and you knew who was part of that outbreak different. We won't start that ball going again. But, we were told, and we had 3 or 4 families that were part of one of our little outbreaks, and all of them had it. And only one of them out of the 3 families went to go get tested, and the other one said, we're not going, we'll just stay home. I don't want to go through the process of getting tested, I don't want to. She goes, but we're all sick, and we all have it. And then we actually had one name pop up, which was surprising because he went to go get tested, which is part of the other family. And he just wanted to make sure he had it. He did. His whole family, there was 3 families there of that one group that they all had it. And there's only 2 of them that went to go get tested. But everybody else was positive. They just did, or had it, they just didn't want to go through the process. But, it's one of those deals that, it would be nice if they would have went and got tested and we could have done a little bit of tracing and tracking on them a little bit. That way we know where they've been because, there's a couple, like I said, there was about 3 families there, 2 of the families, they've been everywhere. It'd have been nice to get them tested and get them served so they stay home, But since we didn't have the information that they were positive, they sort of throw their hands up in the air. And when people ask, why did it grow? Well, shit, that's how come it's spreading.
Well, there's a lot of
you're sick and you're still running around.
Judge, what are we gonna do to register all the elderly that are out there that have not been registered? that have no way to.
This
you know,
process,
Internet or this and that.
this process that you just did, or what y'all just approved on the equipment, this will go a long ways. Like I said, there's already 10 laptops set aside. You know, so.
But I know, but to get to them, because some of them don't have a way to go get registered, or we're gonna drive up to their house and register them.
I think the first part that we do is try to set something up at the Comstock, Poverty Park, the Self-Help, the Community Center, the Chihuahua Center. We do that round first.
If you'll do it on food day, they'll all show up.
On what?
Food day.
Yeah, but
On the day you're giving out food, they'll all.
I would like to see every precinct having an area, a building where they can vaccinate people there.
That will not happen. The logistics and the paperwork to get that happen, there's no way that it can happen. We cannot hand out vaccines. The address, the refrigerator, the freezer, everything needs to be one location. We cannot have several sites to hand out vaccines. We don't have the staff. We don't have the refrigeration units. Y'all just spent $11,000 on a freezer. On one freezer. And to get the state to approve all these sites, and then with manpower, and not only that, we don't even have the vaccine.
Hopefully the pharmacies will start being able to vaccinate, and that'll open up. You'll have H-E-B, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens. That'll give you a lot more opportunity to deal with some of these too.
And you know, the hospital's doing 500 on Friday at the Civic Center, but those are the second doses. You know, and people here already, well, they're having 500 doses, do I line up? No, it's for second doses, you know. We had a ton of people.
Probably the next couple of weeks is gonna be second doses, not new people, isn't it? Right. Because we're already back to that.
Yeah, we're back to
In addition to, but.
Yeah, but we still have to get through the first group on the second shots, because we've been 3 weeks or however long it's been, I don't know.
And again, I mean, it's one of those deals, if we had the vaccine, I can tell you the team that's there right now, and y'all set aside money also to help, with the team that's there, you know, I'm gonna say this, and Dr. Lava's probably not gonna like it, but, as good as they are, like I keep telling them, the good thing when you work for the county, if you do a good job, you get to go do other people's job too. So, you know, they've done 1,224, I think was the most they've done, and from 8 to 2 or something like that. But I have every confidence in the world they could do, you know, 2,500 in a day. You know, see, she didn't say nothing. I mean, it's just amazing. It's amazing what they did now. But either way, y'all have any more questions for Dr. Palau?
I do.
Okay.
It brought my attention that the clerk said that what was the take on the equipment?
On the what?
Of the equipment software?
Yeah, we did. We did.
We did?
I got a 5-0 vote. Yep. Uh-huh. I did a 5-0.
I made a motion. That's second.
Yeah, I second.
And then we voted a 5-0 vote. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Sheriff. Commissioner Wardlow.
Doctor, is there control of the virus with ivermectin?
What?
Is there control of the virus with ivermectin?
With ivermectin, I guess that's a medicine?
Ivermectin, correct.
Oh, so all the treatments, they're still under investigation. There's been some information that ivermectin is good to reduce the virus intracellularly, but I think it's just like some small studies. I haven't seen anything big or any information from the FDA or CDC. Right now they're using ivermectin, still they're using remdesivir, monoclonal antibodies, for hospitalized patients. They have steroids as well. So there's been some studies, and I know right now that they have prescribed ivermectin to a lot of outpatient COVID infections, but there's not enough evidence for me to say like yes, it works. But I know that it is being prescribed as we speak.
No indication of a preventative then?
Sorry?
That there's no indication of a preventative.
With ivermectin?
small study about it, but there is no, I don't have the evidence to say that it actually works.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Dr. Roland? We're good? All right. We're gonna move on to, thank you, Dr. Pala.
Thank you.
We'll move on to closed session. Item A, attorney-client privilege, and item B, contemplated litigation. We'll go into executive session.
Can we go back to item 31?
If you'll look outside right now, everything that's going on, all our trailer parks are full again because we have people hired, okay?
All right.
That's my theory.
All right.
Okay. Item 33, closed session, consultation pursuant to Texas Government Code, A, 551.071, parentheses 2, attorney-client privilege, B, 551.071, parentheses 1, parentheses A, contemplated litigation. We'll go into executive session. Carl, did we need to do anything for you, or we good? Do we need to do anything? All right. Okay. Commissioners Court, we'll come back into session. You can write this down, what's gonna come in. At 11 o'clock, this came out of executive session, no action was taken. Commissioners' comments? No comments? Everything good? Judges' comments, we're good. This meeting's adjourned. See you in a couple weeks.